A baby in the womb is shown during a big shake when his mom gets hurt in a bad car crash. Sarah lives through the accident, but her husband, named Matthew, doesn't make it. 4 months later, Sarah finds herself in the hospital, undergoing treatment and preparing for the childbirth scheduled for the following day. Beside her sits a somber nurse who, between puffs of smoke, inquires if this is Sarah's first baby. With a heavy heart, the nurse reveals that her first delivery lasted 13 painful hours, but the baby did not survive. Shortly thereafter, Sarah's mother, named Louise, arrives to escort her home. During their trip, Louise worries about Sarah's busy work schedule while she's pregnant, but Sarah responds rudely. Later at the park, Sarah captures the lively moments of children at play through her camera lens. Jean-Pierre, a news editor who also happens to be her boss, approaches her. They arrange to meet later that night, and without hesitation Sarah entrusts him with her house keys. At home, Sarah tells her mom not to come tomorrow because Jean will take her to the hospital. As she falls asleep in her rocking chair, she starts throwing up milk, and a baby comes out of her mouth. But when she wakes up, she knows it was just a nightmare. Suddenly, someone knocks on the door. Sarah asks who it is, and a strange woman outside says she needs help and wants to use the phone. Sarah feels unsure about letting her in and tells her to try another house. But then the woman says Sarah's name and knows she's pregnant. Sarah gets scared and threatens to call the police. The woman starts watching Sarah through a window and punches it, making it crack. Sarah grabs her camera and takes a picture of the woman before calling the police. She prints the pictures she took using a special method. When the police arrive, they find nobody outside the house. She gives them the picture, but it's too blurry to be useful. They promise to send a patrol car later in the night before leaving. After that, she calls Jean and tells him what happened before going to bed. The woman silently enters the house and moves around. She picks up antiseptic and scissors and enters Sarah's room. While Sarah is asleep, the woman stabs her belly button with scissors, waking Sarah up. Sarah fights back against her attacker and hits her on the head with a lamp. Sarah is badly wounded and crawls to the bathroom to find refuge. Soon after, Jean-Pierre arrives to check on Sarah and mistakenly assumes the woman present is her mother. The crazy woman offers Jean-Pierre a drink. However, Jean-Pierre attempts to seduce her, but she manages to escape his advances. Spotting a picture on the table, Jean-Pierre mistakes the woman for the one in the photo. As crazy woman prepares to attack Jean-Pierre, Sarah's real mother unexpectedly arrives, causing confusion about the woman's identity. She questions both of them about Sarah's whereabouts before heading upstairs to check on her daughter. In a panicked state, Sarah mistakenly believes her mother is the attacker and hastily kills her. Meanwhile, the crazy woman stabs Jean-Pierre in the knee and then in a most sensitive area, inflicting multiple wounds on his face before delivering a fatal blow to his neck. As the crazy woman begins to dispose of the bodies, she is startled when Jean-Pierre unexpectedly revives once more. Determined to ensure he doesn't revive again, she swiftly stabs him in the head, ending his life for good. Meanwhile, upstairs, Sarah retreats to her room to retrieve something, unknowingly catching the attention of the crazy woman. In a desperate attempt to restrain Sarah, the crazy woman grabs her hair, prompting Sarah to defend herself by piercing the woman's arm with a needle. In agony, the crazy woman seeks comfort in a cigarette, trying to ease her pain. Suddenly, a cat appears before her, and in a disturbing turn of events, she grabs it and violently twists its neck before ruthlessly tossing it aside. The police officers arrive at Sarah's house just like they said they would. One officer stays in the patrol car with a teenage person they arrested earlier. Meanwhile, 2 other officers go to check on Sarah. They talk to the crazy woman, thinking she's the same one from before, and ask about the noises they hear in the house. She says it's just the washing machine. After that, they bid her goodbye and left. Upstairs, Sarah tries to make a hole in the door to open it, but then the crazy woman comes in. She grabs Sarah's hand and stabs it into the wall with the scissors. As they're leaving, the police notice that the woman isn't pregnant. They go back to the house and arrest the crazy woman. One of them goes upstairs and sees that there's blood everywhere. The officer frees Sarah's hand and tells her to open the door from the inside. Downstairs, the crazy woman stabs the officer in the eye, and he tragically dies. She then takes his gun and goes upstairs, where she kills the other officer. The woman fires the gun at Sarah, grabbing the attention of the third officer outside. With the teenager in tow, the officer rushes to rescue Sarah from the bathroom. Meanwhile, the woman sneaks into the basement and cuts the power to the house. The cop takes the teenager to investigate. Sarah exits the bathroom and heads to her bedroom, where she lays down on the bed. The police officer is searching for the fuse board, but the woman uses one of the dropped weapons to shoot the policeman. With cruel intent, she then uses scissors to fatally stab the teenager in the head. The crazy woman goes into Sarah's room and gets on top of her. Sarah bites her lips off and tries to run, but she can't get away. The crazy woman follows her, and they start fighting again, using kickboxing moves. Sarah makes a threatening gesture, as if she might harm her baby, but the crazy woman hits her with the toaster machine, making Sarah breathe heavily. The crazy woman then lights a cigarette, but Sarah fights back by spraying an aerosol can, which burns the woman's face and forces her to retreat. Sarah is then forced to perform a tracheotomy on herself to ease the blood in her lungs. Determined to fight back, Sarah creates a weapon. When she confronts the crazy woman, she demands to know why she did all this. The woman reveals that she was in the other car that collided with Sarah's 4 months earlier. Shockingly, the baby depicted in the opening scene is actually her child, lost in the accident. Seeking revenge, she plans to take Sarah's child. The police officer shot by the woman manages to recover, but the experience leaves him blinded and with serious brain damage. In a frenzied state of confusion and madness, he seizes Sarah by the neck and viciously hits her stomach. To shield the baby, the crazy woman fatally stabs him, killing him for good. Sarah crawls to go upstairs but goes into labor on the staircase. As she tries to deliver the baby, it gets stuck. The crazy woman steps in, using her scissors to perform a cesarean section and deliver the child. She then allows Sarah to perish on the staircase with her stomach opened up as the crazy woman sits in a rocking chair, cradling the crying baby in her arms, and the story comes to its chilling conclusion. If you enjoyed this wild tale of nighttime antics, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let's aim for at least 200 likes along with subscribers to keep the excitement alive. Hit that share button to spread the horror, and don't forget to drop a comment with your favorite part, and of course, don't miss out, hit that subscribe button for more adventures straight out of the imagination.